Ladies and gentlemen. Okay, is that okay? All right, I am actually right away going to turn this over to Curtis Rand, First Selectman of Salisbury, where we are tonight, in case you didn't know where we were. And he will give us a history of his town and all of the environmental information you need about
that. I just want to welcome you all, and some good familiar faces here and new faces. We appreciate the work that you all do. There are people here who I know are very close to water and trees and plants and animals. So those are things that are very important to us here in this town. Also the law. Anyway, that's all. This building is probably 12 years old. We built this on this property, which was donated to the town by the Belcher family in the late 50s, I guess. And it's the source of all kinds of recreation and kids programs and other programs, kayaking. The lake is very deep and very pristine. We try to take good care of it with a weed harvesting program. Mary's very close to the lake. Issues that they're super important to us in this town. And I was just mentioning to Larry, these white oaks here are all around 400 years old. And if you go out and look at the little pipe cookie out there of the cross section of a tree, my predecessor forester, George Kiefer, dated it back to the 1600s. So have a look at that. And these trees come down once in a while, just by old age, and we sell them at a good price to Mystic Seaport, usually for naval timbers. So everything kind of recycles around here, even over a 400-year period. So I just want to welcome you and thank you, and enjoy the dinner.
So before we start with our business meeting, I do just want to say a couple of thank yous and make some introductions. So I want to thank Mary Silks, who's sitting down here at this table. You can wave your hand if you like, Mary. Mary has a home here on the lake, and she put us in touch with the powers that be that made it possible for us to have our annual meeting here in this beautiful facility tonight. So thank you, Mary, for doing that. I also would like to introduce the staff. I think most of you know me, but I'm Cynthia Rabinowitz, Executive Director of the Northwest Conservation District. I would like to introduce the rest of the staff. Karen Nelson, if you would like to stand. Kelsey Sudol. And we have two new employees within the last few weeks. Annette Watt, if you would stand and let everybody meet you. Annette is our new agricultural technician and natural resource specialist. And lastly, our newest employee who started just, what, 2 weeks ago, I think? Maybe 3? Kathy Castagnetta, you would stand up. And Kathy is working part-time for us and handling a lot of different things. So she's, I can't even remember the title that we gave you, but she's going to be a jack of all trades and has already shown her worth. So we are now up to 5 people at the district, which is, I think, really needed, and may it continue. The last person that I would like to mention and thank is Michael Sconias for his help with the arrangements for this event tonight. Thank you for all that you've done. So now I'd like to turn the meeting over to our chairman, Larry Russo, and he will conduct the formalities for us.
Thank you, Cynthia. So I have the long-winded portion of this program. Our annual meeting is going to be the business portion. I'm presiding over, and I'd like to call the meeting to order at 6:28 p.m. Now I'd like to have the directors, our present, stand up and introduce themselves. And I'm Larry Russo from Torrington. Okay, the ground rules for our annual business meeting is that any persons 18 years or older residing or owning land in our 34 town area which we serve, and I don't want to name all the towns, making up the district, is attending this meeting is eligible to vote. So anyone here who lives in our 34 town area can have a vote. If you wish to make a motion on any of the reports or actions proposed during this meeting, please state your full name for the record. If you want to second a motion, please state your full name for the record. On the tables are copies of the agenda, minutes of last year's annual meeting, and the annual report you'll find. At the election of directors and alternate directors, once the slate of candidates have been announced, we'll open the floor to anyone attending who is an eligible voter to submit their names as a candidate. There are some, on the annual report, there are some items that I wish to highlight. During the 2022 year, we partnered with our town use commissions and staffs for on-site development reviews and field inspections for land use in residential, agricultural, commercial, and urban settings. When we review, we make recommendations on proposed land use changes. We balance development with protection of natural resources. We provide practical science-based solutions using the latest techniques, including low-impact sustainable development, to ensure that the projects work with the landscape and are designed to address changes in our climate. We are currently working on the culmination of the final construction of a low-impact development design for 2 rain gardens and a bioswale with signage for 2 parks in Bethel, Bennett Park and McCower Park, and including a dog park next to Lime Kiln Brook, which has federal funding, 319, in partnership with the Housatonic Valley Association. We also finished 2 rain garden projects in the town of Woodbury and Roxbury, which was funded by the Connecticut Community Foundation. In order to safely continue our educational initiatives, we offered in-person and online format workshops on topics including LID and stormwater management, residential and community rain gardens, soil health, renewable energy options, pollinator gardens, home composting, invasive plant management, and the best agricultural management practices. Presentations were made to town inland wetland commissions on wetland functions and values, how to read maps and engineering plans, with a focus on understanding how to assess watershed areas. Many of our programs support the Sustainable Connect CT towns with their certification efforts. We've also expanded our natural resource education to children by the creation of educational projects in schools, summer programs, and libraries. We received funding last year to install container gardens at Winsted's Beardsley Library, and for a second year, a staff member, Kelsey Soto, worked with NRCS Conservation Sarah Armerato, conducted weekly workshops starting in July, both in person and in Zoom with groups of preschoolers and their parents. Our partnership with Beardsley Library staff has allowed us to reach an underserved community with hands-on experience regarding home gardening, healthy foods, and how vegetables are grown. The Connecticut Environmental Program is in its 33rd year, providing hands-on science for high school students through workshops and educational support. Envirothon fosters student learning in the areas of aquatic ecology, forestry, soils and land use, wildlife, and current environmental issues. This year, due to the pandemic, workshops and competitions were for a second year adapted to an online format. Monthly webinars or materials released for the four main stations, aquatics, forestry, soils, and wildlife, occurred the first week of each month and were later placed on Connecticut Envirothon's YouTube channels. Hand-on kits were also sent to the participating schools, and a goose chase photo completion supplemented the online learning experience. All participating teams can take part in an annual May Field Day statewide competition, this year held in person in Tallinn, Connecticut. Schools from our 34 towns included Housatonic Valley Regional, Marblewood, Nanawag Regional, and Northwest Regional 7. The 2022 state competition winner, Housatonic Valley Regional, competed in person at the National Conservation Foundation International Competition at Miami University in Oxford, Ohio. The NWCD looks forward to again adding Connecticut Envirothon in the aquatic station, where one of our staff acts as the station leader and in the overall competition for 21-22 season. Our Earth Day plant sale returned to the Goshen Fairgrounds as a pre-order scheduled pickup 3-day event, with some day of sales for our pre-ordered customers. All took place in late April and had overwhelming support from our many faithful customers. As part of the plant sale virtual outreach, we led a district-wide No Mow May initiative and lent support to the statewide Pollinator Pathway Northeast program. We continue to encourage people to make changes in their properties with a mix of primarily native plants that provide food and habitat for birds and pollinators, add biodiversity, promote clean air, clean water, clean food sources, and healthy soils. We are in the second year of a grant from the National Association of Conservation Districts to have an agricultural and soil health technician to conduct an outreach program to farmers in the district. The purpose of the program is to inform farmers of the USDA programs that can help their productivity while protecting soil and water resources. Our first technician, Sarah, who is here tonight, is now a full-time conservationist with the NRCS. We welcome Annette Lott, our new agricultural technician, who started this spring. The Cover Crop Challenge was initiated in 2021 by NWCD through a grant from the Berkshire Agricultural Ventures. It was continued this fall with a grant from the Northwest Community Bank Foundation. In 2021, 15 farms participated in the challenge. This year, we are pleased to have an increase in the number of participating farms to 21. The challenge is to encourage farms to adopt the use of cover crops to improve overall soil health by reducing weed pressure, increasing soil organic matter and carbon, improve soil microbiology, and nutrient and water retention. The participating farmers are asked to let the cover crop grow to its maximum vegetative stage to grow the most biomass possible before the plants go to seed. Soil testing is provided as part of the giveaway. Through the demonstrated benefits of growing cover crops, the intent of this project is to encourage widespread adoption of the use of cover crops in Northwest Connecticut through peer-to-peer sharing. The Voice of Conservation biannual newsletter continues along with the electronic offerings through our website and Facebook. We are also in the second year of our educational newsletter. Started as a handout at our 2021 pre-order plant sale, this year's edition is available in the info rack and celebrates the 50th year of the Inland Wetlands and Watercourse Act in Connecticut. New recorded webinars and educational articles are now offered on our website, and we're planning additional resources for online outreaches which conserve valuable resources and to make our educational program available. The generous support that we received in the past year has allowed us to move forward on a long-term goal to give scholarships to graduate high school seniors and college students interested in pursuing careers in environmental science and becoming future environmental stewards. This evening, we'll celebrate the recipients of 4 scholarships and the persons to whom they are named. Is there any questions about our annual report? I just want to point out that our organization does a diverse items and to a diverse audience in a larger area. Now I'd like to have accept the motion for the 2021 annual meeting minutes, that if anyone wants to see their copies are on the table. Anyone can make a motion, as long as you identify yourself. And you, sir, should state your name as? Yes. And then you have a second? Second from who? Okay. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Since I just finished the annual report, why don't we have a motion to accept and approve the annual report as read? And you are Curtis Rand. Curtis, sorry. Thank you. All in favor? Ray first. All right, now we come to the part where we have our elections. And I have entertained a report from the nominating committee from
Sharon, you want to come up?
Sure.
On behalf of the nomination committee, I nominate Marissa Wright as leader board director until the year 2025, and Leah Edison for the 2-year alternate board election until the year 2020.
Are there any nominations from the floor? Hearing none, I accept the motion to accept the slate of directors as proposed by the nominating committee. Thank you, Michael. A second? Curtis? Okay, all in favor of the nominating committee report? Say aye. Thank you. And now this will conclude this. Yes. Yes, yes, we do. All right, I'll accept the motion to end the business meeting and continue on with the rest of our program after our farm to table meal. Sharon, second. Okay, thank you. And then we'll continue our program during the diversion. Yes.
Really quick. We got to eat. I want to tell you about what we're doing. So this is our second time doing this, farm to table dinner, and highlights farms from throughout our district. Some are on Facebook, and many going over where we got each thing that is in these dishes. There's also part of practice of where not much. They're all different ways to use local agricultural produce. Thank you to Annette and Karen went on a lovely dining spree, getting all these different food things. And also thank you to our treasurer, Doreen and Suno, who gave us otherwise, okay, everyone. So as you're finishing up first, hopefully this works okay. We have a couple videos we want to show you. So first, we're going to highlight. Oh, yeah. The first video is just a year in review. And it's highlighting 3 of the projects that Larry talked about earlier today in our annual meeting, our annual report. And hopefully the internet decides to work for me. So I actually have 2 other short videos to show you. Not done yet. They're both short though. Here we go. So the second one is an overview of lake sampling. So Mary Phillips is a wonderful volunteer over here who volunteers for Lake Lemont-Squamish Association, the lovely lake that we are on here. I'm going to tell you a little bit about it, but we worked with them a little bit to get some lake monitoring equipment this year. So it's a little bit about what that equipment is and why it matters. And then the last one after that will be a short video. So 2022 is actually a very important anniversary for water quality and wetlands. It's the 50th anniversary of the enactment of the Inland Wetlands and Watercourses Act in Connecticut. Something I want to know real quick. This is a really important act, and go into why in a second, but right now there's actually a Supreme Court case for the Clean Water Act federally that is putting wetlands in danger nationally. What's great is that in Connecticut and New England, we don't have to worry about that because of this act. This act is basically saying, it's okay, we still have higher levels of protections of wetlands in the state. So this is happening right now. Hopefully for the nationwide water quality, that won't happen, that they won't roll back the EPA's ability to protect our wetlands, but it's really great that in Connecticut, they had the foresight 50 years ago to put in these protections that still matter today. So.
Now I'd like to move into our awards and recognition portion of the program. And the first award is the Conservation Agricultural Award. And it's been presented by Katie Pruss, the NRCS District Conservation.
Thank you. It is my honor to be presenting the Northwest Conservation District's 2022 Conservation Agricultural Award to Joanne Sharon. Joanne, come on up, stand next to me. Joanne Sharon of Autumn Harvest Orchard. She works in the northwestern corner of Connecticut, and she has been naturally growing her produce for many years, and she has been producing that and providing organic and naturally grown, which actually, no, you're right. It's certified naturally grown produce to schools and to other local food systems, food hubs for many, many years. And Joanne is also a veteran. And so she has a long history of providing both service to our country and also to the community. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Katie. Next award is the Conservation Education Award and is presented by Kelsey Siegel and Sarah Amarato.
Here's the Conservation Education Award to the Beardsley Library and so this award recognizes the staff of the Beardsley Memorial Library for their dedication to conservation and agricultural programs and their partnership with the Norfolk Conservation District and delivering programs focused on food resiliency and community gardening.
And now I have to have Karen come up and do some awards for our staff.
Cynthia, would you like to start off? How many of you folks know who Harry Potter is? And everybody remember the awards that were given at a big competition where Gryffindor was behind, and awards were given to all sorts of people for doing good things and whatever. So, and some of them were kind of insignificant things. So since what might be considered insignificant, but not to us. Come on up. Cynthia is starting off with a, I think the.
I would have brought my broomstick or my, whatever it was they threw around, but I forgot. I don't know what the connection is, but I'll take it anyway to Gryffindor or whatever.
We have a little bit technical.
We're having, Karen is going to make this.
Several weeks ago, we had our new program start, and there was a few issues like I talked about in Monday's late problem. The new car that was needed, put all these big heavy bags of seating that I certainly couldn't pick up. And we had one lovely human being and his partner, who I don't see. So, and now we are presenting you, and I don't have the envelope, with the Peaches and Cream Award. Because there's Peaches and Cream ice cream down the road is our go-to place when we're having a bad day. So you win the Peaches and Cream. And on our agenda says staff awards given by and to NWCD staff. So we're turning this around to Mary, who we are very grateful to for all the wonderful things that she's done by giving us this place and working with us over the years. She has an unbelievable piece of property on the lake, which is the epitome of LID. She's worked with the district for many, many years. But she also would like to say something as well.
I wanted to say how grateful we are to the Conservation District for helping us with getting our grant, to get our equipment, and with our technical support. And we started out with the rain. I started with rainbows. I think it was 2009. So, and then with the Lake Association, we've been working trying to promote rain gardens and buffers and native plants and things like that. And always had the idea of lake monitoring, but it seemed kind of beyond us. So, but with the help of the Conservation District now, we're going to be able to do that. And the goal would be in the future, once we get more proficient at it, is to have young people, students, and we were going to have internship, paid internship, and maybe incorporate it into the Envirothon program too. So that would be a goal. So we are so thankful that we have this.
And I think we both have to do special things with Kelsey, because Kelsey, Cynthia and I were having a hard time writing the contract. And we are very grateful for helping Mary.
Yes, well, that was my rate limiting factor too, because I had no clue how to do it.
No, but
And we wanted with that, so, and we got it back. Yeah. Yeah.
Very interesting work. We all have
And I go back to Harry Potter because there was that person who shall not be named, and in the case of Baltimore, it was evil. But the person I'm not naming tonight is the exact opposite of evil. He is a gentleman, a very, very humble gentleman, a citizen of Salisbury. And I called him several weeks ago because I realized, actually 2 months ago, I realized all he had done because his name is tied into things like conservation, including the Hammond property in Cornwall. He's done wonderful things, not just in Salisbury, but in other towns and affordable housing, land acquisition. When I called him, Michael Stein called him first, and then I ended up calling, and he did not want to accept the award because he felt other people were more deserved it more than he did. And the more I talked to other people, because he said, Don, you have to talk Mama Darwin, so I call this one. And everybody speaks to the fact that this man has done wonderful things. He's very humble and he doesn't want to be acknowledged in public. So when I was told that I had to be respectful to him, because that's what we're supposed to be to people these days, that I would not name him, who shall not be named in the name of good, shall not be named at tonight's meeting, and a letter that we're all going to write and take back to the board at large will go out to this gentleman with personal thanks, so that we can be respectful of his wishes that his name not be in the minutes of this meeting. And I think a lot of you in this room probably know. So that is the awards given by staff, and that is the culmination of a Harry Potter kind of awards that we all need to have some jollity in our life. Good. Thank you.
So I do have the last word on rules. I would like to recognize another one of our staff people, and that is Kelsey. I would like to give you, this is not a Cream Award, but it's something equally fun. And so, Kelsey, come up. Kelsey is a person who multitasks without being flustered. She seems to work all the time. I don't know when she sleeps. She's the most giving person. She helps all of us. And I know that she makes things easier for us. And without her, Karen's already mentioned this, but without her, I don't think we'd be able to do as much as we're doing. So I would like to give you this little something. And thank you.
As many of you see on our agenda, this is, and it's mentioned in the annual report, in Larry's report, this is the first year that we have been able, and the board agreed to hand out scholarships with 3 named persons. We have one young lady in attendance tonight. We have invited some parents. It's been very difficult for some parents to get here, and it's also very difficult for some students to get here when they're in various other states like Indiana and Massachusetts and elsewhere. So I am going to address the first award, which is given in honor of Jacqueline Mott. She's a Cornwallian for all of you that know I work with conservation district, but I've been in Cornwall for 15 years. I met Jackie Mott when I first came to the Northwest Conservation District plant cell, and she was a faithful plant cell person, very humble woman, or so I thought. And little did I know that besides being this very humble woman that lived on Pierce Lane and loved her plants and stuff, that she also lived in Manhattan, and she was an artist, and she did all sorts of artwork. She was very involved in Native American cultures here, and she went to drumming circles. She made several contacts. And I'm going to point out that the one young lady, Brianna Lozon, I'm saying your name right, Lozon, is a recipient of a $2,500 check for her first year of college. And our students, just so you know, our scholarship awardees can reapply for the next 3 years for additional funding. But I wanted you to know a little bit what I learned about Jackie Mott, and I think this was kind of says something that we can all kind of chuckle at for what we do. When she lived in New York, she swam, this is from her obituary, she swam regularly at a local school that had a pool open to local residents. She took why not, Cynthia would have to help me, Tai Chi, that's it. And Tai Chi sword in Central Park, and she had a folding blunt sword for class. Still, she asked the police officer that she'd seen several times about it. He told her that when it was folded, it was a concealed weapon, but if she walked it outright, it would be fine so long she didn't threaten anybody with it. So she was walking to Central Park at 6 o'clock in the morning with an open sword for class. Her picture is on the front page of the Kelsey, if you hold it up, and you would never imagine this woman who had health issues when I met her, who loved plants, who garden, had all the tags from plant sale for every plant that she planted at plant sale, was walking through Central Park with a sword. But you know what? One of these days you might be able to do the same thing, and you would be doing something that Jackie Mott would have thought would want to happen. So I'm going to go back to, so in honor of Jackie Mott, one award was given to Lydia Beardsley of Norfolk, Connecticut. Her mom, I think, was picking her up. She's a 2022 graduate of Northwest Regional 7, and she's attending Worcester Polytech. And for all of you that remember, I graduated in 1970, and a dear friend of mine was one of the first 13 women that was admitted to Worcester Polytech in 1970. There were no women at Worcester Polytech before that. So yes, go. And in honor of Jackie Mott, also Brianna, who is again a graduate of Northwest Regional 7, attending Northwestern Community College. So we hope, we know what you're going to do. We hope that you will do it with all of the good graces that Jackie Mott would be so pleased to give you this award.
Thank you.
I want to address the fact that this also means a great amount to me, because Regional 7 in Northwestern Connecticut is where my daughter took Envirothon back in the 1990s. And Jen Purga in the back was one of the people that mentored her, and my daughter, Dr. Kathleen, who's not the only medicine doctor, is very strong in conservation, social justice, and equality, and everything, clean air, clean water, and all the things that we all deserve. So that's the Jackie Mott scholarships. I'm going to move on to Ledlie Laughlin, who is another Cornwallian. This award went to Natalie Wadsworth of Falls Village. She's a 2022 graduate of Housatonic Valley Regional High School, and she's attending the University in Massachusetts in Amherst. And I just want to say Ledlie Laughlin, and we use the name Reverend Ledlie Laughlin because he was a, I'll get my cheat sheet out here. He was a dean of Trinity Cathedral in Newark. He successfully merged a small white congregation with a thriving black congregation of St. Philip's Church, whose church building burned down. This was in the 60s, the time of racial division and riots in New York. Ledlie moved on in 72 to become a vicar and then rector of St. Luke in the fields in Greenwich City, New York City. He lived there for 20 years. He believed in a diverse congregation in an era where the church was struggling with how to respond to homosexuality. St. Luke's took an open stance and consequently developed a strong ministry to persons with AIDS. It became a parish known for inclusive outreach and hospitality to the gay community. And he came back, he worked, he was social justice. And when he came back, his mother-in-law, Roxanne Hammond, who we have a conservation easement on, he was part of that because he had a strong desire to see Cornwall and other areas be the places where there's clean water, clean air, and that which all human beings are entitled to. He was just, I met him in his later years, and he was a great man of faith. And for that, we are grateful that he bequested money to us, and he's just given in honor of his, in honor of him. And Roxanne Laughlin could not come tonight. She asked that either that somebody represent him, and I wanted to represent him. And his scholarship is going to a Housatonic Valley person, and I want to honor Dave Moran and Audra Leach, who this was one of their students at Housatonic Valley, two of our Envirothon leaders, as Jen Ferber was. And so this is another scholarship that is going to a person that was in our Envirothon teams, for which the Northwest Conservation District gives great credit to, and who is somebody like Elsa Sudol that is a great person to do it. The final award, Curtis, I've done enough talking. You're going to come up and you're going to address the Dick Leavenworth Award. We kind of talked about this because we think it's really important that young people and everybody here to know why we're doing this, who we're doing it for, and that you get to know the people that were part of our district. You're on first.
Good evening. I think we should be giving an award to Kelsey's mom, Doreen, for this piece. You know what, this scholarship is going to Hannah Koska from Oxford, Connecticut, and she is a graduate of Nanawag who's attending Valparaiso University in Indiana. And we have a letter from the family for whom this scholarship is named, and that's Dick Leavenworth. And I'm going to read this brief letter. Welcome, everyone. First and foremost, on behalf of my family, I want to extend my gratitude to the NWCD for their kind and heartwarming acknowledgement of the countless hours that my father, Dick Leavenworth, devoted to the conservation and preservation of our environment. For nearly 50 years, my father embodied the meaning of think globally, act locally in all that he did to protect open space and water resources throughout the northwest corner of Connecticut. The Dick Leavenworth Scholarship will help to support and ensure that his legacy will continue for years to come. Hannah Koska, a graduate of Nanawag High School, like my father, clearly embodies the passion and motivation needed to tackle the many challenges that lie ahead for those devoting their lives to the short and long-term effects of climate change on our environment. As the first recipient of the Dick Leavenworth Scholarship, I'm confident that she will make a tremendous impact in her desired fields of meteorology and atmospheric science. I look forward to learning of your progress in the years to come, Hannah. Congratulations and good luck. From Sarah Lynn Leavenworth, the daughter of Dick Leavenworth. I think anybody who knew Dick, I think he was on this board for the district for like 43, maybe 45, we lost count, years. And I had the pleasure of working with him on water quality and Waterbury and getting a couple of local organizations going about that. And he was one of the most honorable men I think any of us knew. And this is an honor to Hannah. And it's a great gift that the family made to the district that we'll be able to give a scholarship every year. So let's all think of Dick in heaven and enjoy your evening. Thank you.
Now we're going to award the Envirothon plaque to the winning team
Dave Moran, Jen Perga, Audra, this is our CT Envirothon plan that goes from school to school every year. And there's a lot of Wisconsin Valley Regional on it, 2016, 17. Academy of Aerospace and Engineering in 2018. Back to Wisconsin Valley Regional in 2019. That was the year I think we honored both of you as our educators of the year. Then in 2020, it went to Northwestern Regional 7. Jen Berga, Kelsey Leach sisters, Audra and Kelsey Leach sisters. One with Dave and one with Jen. Talk about dynamic duo in two schools. And then in 2021, it went to Marvel School, Lori Goss, who is a friend of everybody's here. And in 2022, went back to Wisconsin Valley Regional, Dave Moran and Audra. Just so you know, Audra has moved on to non-lock, so boy, the competition is getting huge. We've got dynamos up there. Jen has in some fashion retired, but we know she's going to be involved because Audra's sister is having a baby. Yes. So this is just part of the powerhouse team that the Northwest Conservation District has been able to work with over the past couple of years and for many, many years. And it has really, that's why our scholarships are for Envirothon students in particular, because they're committed to environmental science. And Kelsey, I would like Kelsey to come up because I want to acknowledge Kelsey. I think that Kelsey.
So the one thing I want to add, so I am the aquatics chair for Connecticut Envirothon, which is really great because both me and Karen are right in the planning stages, and we work with our other four conservation districts on the board, and they all silently are jealous of us because we have all of our teams do fantastic every year. Last year, I think our top 3 schools were all from the Northwest. And it's just across the board, our students are fantastic, they're always engaging. Even when we were online, a lot of the teams that came to our webinars were the area, all of our schools. So thank you guys so much for your dedication, and really congrats on bringing it back to Tuesday again this year, and hopefully you can continue. And now, because you guys now came 3rd last year, so now 3rd place versus 1st, that's going to be interesting. And I know Lori came in 2nd, so, and then you guys also Northwestern. So thank you guys so much for your dedication, like continuing to work with the students, even through everything the last couple of years. There's a workshop this Saturday, so hopefully some of you guys can.
And thank you on behalf of the Housatonic, Northwestern and Norfolk. We really appreciate all the support from the Northwest Conservation District and from the Environmental Steering Committee, and we really appreciate your support and everything that's done, especially through COVID with the webinars and the online access and helping everybody to stay connected, even though we all felt disconnected during that time. We're really grateful to have those in-person workshops back, and we're really grateful for the support from not only this community, but from the Northwest Corner.
And I'm going to just add one funny little thing about Kelsey Seagull. The first day I took her to the steering committee meeting, she said the youngest person in the room, and nobody would listen to that. And then she started going to meetings, and it was our last in-person competition, and we were up in Collin, and Jeff Bolger, who's the chairman of the steering committee at the time, we were standing in the field, and Jeff and Kelsey was standing next to him. And you know how you can see kind of a shift in somebody, and I watched Jeff Bolger out of the corner of his eye, and Kelsey was talking, and I saw the body language go, and he realized what a star. And Kelsey, within a year after that, became aquatics chair. And without Kelsey, and then Another district hiring another young person, the two of them, Kelsey taking the lead, Mindy right behind these two. They transferred an Envirothon steering committee from a bunch of people who had a hard time putting the computers on, figuring out everything, to being able to be mentored, to do Zoom videos and all sorts of things. And so for that, Kelsey was really to be honored because she set the stage for young people to take over and buy a compost too. Thank you.
Okay, that concludes our program, our meeting, and I thank you all for coming, and I don't know what it's doing outside, if it's storming or not. I don't hear anything, so I want to invite everybody for our next year's meeting, location to be named.